And we are live and direct from the WYEP Community Broadcast Center. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kyle Smith, and glad to welcome for the very first time to our WYEP studios, Madison Cunningham. And welcome to Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Pittsburgh, for having us.
What a beautiful day for you to land here in Pittsburgh. You and your full band will be performing tonight over at Stage AE. You've been out on tour for a few weeks with Mountjoy.
Correct.
All right. And the new album is going to be coming out in September. We'll talk about that a little bit later on. But first, how about a song from your record from 2019?
Yeah. This one is called Pin It Down. When I stand back, I see a little clearer now. When I'm not staring right at a pixelated picture. When I shut it out, it still hurts the same somehow. And I'm standing right where I said I would never be. I can't pin it, I can't pin it down, I can't pin it. Well, I think we've been here once before, I think we've been here once before. When you looked at me, were my defenses drawn? Was I cutting through the floor I was standing on? This cold-blooded pride in me won't go down quietly, and I'm standing right where I swore I would never be. I can't pin it, I can't pin it down, I can't pin it. Well, I think we've been here once before, yeah, I'll admit it, I'll admit it now, I'll admit it. Well, I think we've been here once before, I think we've been here once before. When I look into your eyes, there's nowhere to hide, no edge to hold. Are we so willing to compromise every ounce of freedom for some control? Time and time again, colors start to blend, and I really can't remember its own reason. Oh, well, maybe it's time that I take a good look around at what we have learned to live with and what we can't live without. The pain that we hold so dear looks so small and faint from here, and we're standing right where we said we would never be. I can't pin it, I can't pin it down, I can't pin it. Well, I think we've been here once before, yeah, I'll admit it, I'll admit it now, I'll admit it. Well, I think we've been here once before, I think we've been here once before. I think we've been here once before. I think we've been here once before. I think we've been here once before.
We are live and direct with Madison Cunningham here at the WYEP studios, and that was Pin It Down from the album Who Are You Now that came out back in 2019. I should have said Grammy-nominated album and artist Madison Cunningham. How was that back in 2019? Did that catch you off guard? Were you surprised at all by the nomination?
Oh yeah, 100%. I think my team may have even said like, yeah, that's not going to happen for a while. They said those words out loud, and I think that's what made it so much sweeter was the unexpected nature of it. And for me, I never try to make music for the sake of receiving an award. But I think when they do come your way, your only response is gratitude.
Well, it's quite a recognition too at that stage of your career and things. And I read that like a lot of musicians, you started making music and singing when you were young and stuff. But was there any type of moment where you said, "I'd like to be a songwriter, and I'd also like to maybe produce my own material as well"? Was there some watershed moment where that happened?
Yeah, I mean, I'd grown up in a pretty musical family. My dad was a guitar player and songwriter himself. So I think the second I saw him, using the guitar as a means to the end of a song, I think I wanted to write as well. I wanted to be like him. And so I started writing when I was around 7. And then that just kind of became a thing. And then, the more that I kind of studied music and really it went from obsession to passion, I think I came across a lot of incredible artists that really showed me new ways of writing songs and thinking of chord structure and lyricism and melody and all of that. And I think obviously it's an endless well of knowledge. Like we're never going to run out of new ways to write songs.
Very true.
So yeah, I was young when I think when the interest developed, and then I just never stopped.
Well, back in 2019, I always have to pause it because it seems like such a time warp the last few years, but I caught you performing with Andrew Bird. It was at the Roxy Theater,
yeah.
And someone urged me to go see you after we'd been playing your record for a few weeks, and the response was really amazing. How did you first, I know that you've connected with a lot of musicians and you're from California, but how did you grab the attention of folks like Sarah Bareilles and Andrew Bird and John Mayer, and I guess there's been a lot written about your performances with Harry Styles as well.
I mean, those were all completely organic circumstances. I'm not a very good what's the word? I'm not very good at making. I'm not a good networker. That's the word. I'm quite shy, but I think the music world is very small, and everyone kind of finds their way of meeting each other. And I think. I don't really know how those people came into my life. They just did. And they're all people that I really, really look up to and have been kind enough to take chances on me. And they've been a huge part of my musical story and journey.
Well, it seems like you're also inspired by other musicians because you put an album or an EP out.
Yeah,
of
right.
covers back in 2020, and that was also nominated for a Grammy. Too,
which was also a hilarious surprise. Like when I got that call, I think I just laughed.
Well, you covered the Beatles and Radiohead as well, which that surprised me as well. And Tom Waits and John Mayer. Was there any significance to the songs that you decided to cover for that, or were they just favorite songs? Or
well, I don't know if there was necessarily coincidence for why I covered them in the first place. I think I loved those songs of theirs. They were standouts for me. But I think the impetus in putting them out on those records was they all seemed to fall very much in line with kind of the general themes of the world that were kind of going on. I don't know that I need to explain. Everybody knows what the last 2 years have been, but they felt very pertinent to the moment and appropriate to put out. If self-promotion and putting out music was such a delicate thing at that time, and I felt like singing someone else's words was like a form of comfort for me, to kind of work through my own set of thoughts.
We're live and direct with Madison Cunningham, who's performing tonight over at Stage AE. Madison and her band will be opening up for the band Mountjoy, and here live in our studios today. And the album we'll talk about in just a moment. It's coming out in September. Revealer was just announced, along with your own headlining tour. I'd love to hear a new song from Revealer, and then we'll talk about the record. Madison Cunningham, live and direct here on WYEP.
This one's called Hospital. Well, you'll never see me dying on screen or microscope. I'll be the first to laugh it off, to not be the brunt of your joke. Let me make a mistake, it'll pay for its own cost. 'Cause regret is like an infant that won't let you sleep it off. Checking into a hospital where the nurses earth and sky, fighting against my flesh and blood. There's nothing I won't try. Even heartache looks so easy to a pair of grieving eyes. And I'm always one man down, I'm always one man down and dressed up. I'm an antenna, a feeding tube and a hard drive, entertaining myself to death to maintain some sort of life. Staring up at a concrete roof, thinking it could fall any minute. The fall line can't be reasoned with, no matter what the house has in it. Checking into a hospital where the nurses church and stay. The cure has got that oxygen we're all looking to taste. With the face lines of a moss wings, I don't want time to waste. But I'm always one man down, I'm always one man down and dressed up. To mine. Living like this is just no way to die. Put it in terms I can understand. This wound is all I've got, but I can't disconnect my head from the damage that it's brought. Well, a straight face on this cruel place, it just won't crack a break. I'm always one man down, I'm always one man down and fed up.
Live and direct from the WYEP studios, it is Madison Cunningham and her brand new song called Hospital, which we just got turned on to in the last couple of weeks. Her new album, Revealer, will be out on September the 9th. She's going to be going out on a headlining tour starting later on this summer. And she's here with her band tonight, opening up for Mountjoy over at Stage AE. Here in Pittsburgh. The first single, brand new to us, I caught for the first time. I saw the video this morning.
Oh, you did?
Yes, of you opening up little quotes and things from a book. Can you explain a little bit the idea behind the song and maybe tie it into the video if people want to check out Hospital later?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, the Hospital is very much about, a character who's trying to reconcile I think the fact that they're kind of losing it and operating at a deficit, it's kind of a confession of feeling like you're not functioning at 100%, but also kind of confessing to like the emotional cosmetics that it takes to cover that up and all the work that goes into not wanting people to know that about you. Because I think, it's still, there's a stigma around opening up about your weaknesses and also the things that are just very unattractive to show people. And I think this song, I had a really hard time expressing all of that, experience that I was going through myself. And I think this was the first song that actually kind of like opened up the portal of me to talk about it and just be like, okay, I'm just gonna admit to the fact that I feel like I'm not 100% myself, or I'm not the best version of myself. And that's kind of, I think the music video tries to show a very skewed version of reality. Like it plays with proportions and stuff. So like, at one point I'll be holding a coffee cup that's like twice the size of my head. Or like this puppet therapist gives me a pill that looks very small in his hand. And when I take it, it's from him, it's like a very, very big pill. And then I'm also a very large person in a small house. And I liked the idea of like when your mind isn't all right, I guess you question reality altogether. And that's what the music video tries to convey. And also at the beginning, the little character who opens up the really tiny book that says "Think Bigger." It's like this self-help book that does absolutely nothing for the character. It just says stuff like stay hydrated and live, laugh, love, and
those little bumper stickers and slogans, right? Yeah.
The things that we like turn to help us that, literally tell us nothing about ourselves or how to cure anything. It's just like, hang in there, buddy, And I wanted to kind of make a kind of note about that.
I think almost all of us should be able to relate to that song, but perhaps the video as well, especially being in the building here for almost a year and a half with usually seeing 40 or 50 people a day, and then 2 for
crazy.
An entire year. It is, but onward and upward. And Revealer, the record is coming out in September. Had a chance to listen to it, and it sounds great. Just really well produced. The arrangements are fantastic, and the vocals are out in front, which it's a great listen from the beginning. But are there some overall themes? Does it continue on with Hospital, or does the theme of Revealer? Well, I'll let you reveal.
Nice, that's a beautiful segue there. I think it kind of starts with Hospital and this sort of like earnest confession of needing help, and then it kind of dives down into, I think, a feeling of grief. A lot of the record is retrospective in the sense that when I lost my grandmother when she passed in 2020, it kind of, again, I think just cracked open a large dose of reality and impending mortality, which, that's not an easy subject, and at times it can be overdone, but at the same time, there's areas of it that I think are hard to talk about. And in making this record, it was incredibly difficult for me. There wasn't really a moment of peace in making it, and I was really bummed about that for a long time. And then I thought, that is a part of the record's fabric, is that this is an incredibly hard time, and I'm gonna let all of those emotions be shown through in the songs, no matter how ugly it is. There's one song about my sister on there that is really, I think, my favorite song on the album. It's called "Sunshine Over the Counter." We were talking about it before we went on air, and I'm very excited for people to hear that one, because it's very much a song about our childhood and just kind of reconciling with growing up and what it means to develop your own mind, and also just how hard it is to grow up and become your own person and all of those things.
There's one other song that's out there, like on the digital players, right? Anywhere? Is that the one?
Anywhere, yeah.
Okay, so that's out, and also Hospital, but the album Revealer will be out on September 9th, and I'm sure you'll do a few of them tonight.
Correct.
All right.
We will.
And Madison Cunningham will have a full band. I want to segue into a final song here and then let you go experience some beautiful Pittsburgh weather here. It's pretty rare this time of year, so I hope you get to head outside and catch some of the city. But you wrote this song, and it was part of a song project from NPR and Morning Edition. And how did you get involved with that? And can you explain, set up the song a little bit?
Of course, yeah. I got approached by a couple of the producers from that segment on NPR, and they basically just asked me to write a song on the topic "Dreams Deferred," which I immediately resonated with, and I again kind of just mortality being the theme. I kind of wanted to make that the the mantra to reconcile all the things that were being lost, you know, whether it was like a loved one or opportunities or normalcy, all of that I wanted to kind of wrap up in the picture of like, this is humanity is made to face this kind of stuff. Like we're made to, in a way, grieve, and we will just be experiencing a lot of that throughout, you know, our lives. So yeah, I also liked to liken it to kind of a harvest that had gone wrong, that had, you know, kind of died, I think, mid-growth. And so that's where the name Broken Harvest came from.
Madison Cunningham is live in our studios, and here's the song that she wrote and performed for NPR's Morning Edition song project called Broken Harvest.
Thank you.
Round and round this broken rat race, I'm moving and stopping. I'm window shopping for love, for fame, for anything that would take me. And when I'm done taking up space, well, I'm coming home late to a dirty place, half awake. The broom, the rake, take the kid out of me. Just say the word, just say the word, and I'll give it up. The word, and I'll hang it up. What do I know? What do I own that will not fade away? All things fade away. Where will I be? The crop and the weed feast and fade away. All things fade away. Putting on a business coat for the tear in the jeans, the hole in the boat to make the burden float, to paying for this time when you're living on a dreamer's salary. A broken harvest feels like robbery. What do I do this for if it's just gonna pour out easily? You've seen me there, climbing the stairs, begging for air, not coming up. I'm not coming on. What do I know? What do I own that will not fade away? All things fade away. Where will I be? The fruit and the tree thirst and fade away. All things fade away. Oh. Oh,
That's Madison Cunningham, live and direct here on WYEP. The song is Broken Harvest, one that she wrote back in 2020 for NPR's Morning Edition Song Project. And wow, some great lyrics in that song. And looking forward to your album coming out in full on September the 9th. Revealer is the name of it.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you for taking the time. It is probably very tough being on the road, especially during, what we're going through still right now. So thanks for taking the time to come in and share your music and stories. And best of luck with the show tonight and for your headlining tour that starts in a few weeks.
Thank you very much.
All right. Madison Cunningham, live and direct here on WYEP.